Welcome to Formula 7 Racing. We are live for Tier 4. I am your commentator and joined alongside me one of the GOATs of the commentary boxes. Jess, how are you? Yeah, absolutely. So am I. I can't wait for it. Obviously, these drivers have had a little bit of a tester, a little bit of a pre-season, but that is it. They've been on track together, and most of these didn't race in the pre-season, so this will be the first time they're even competing with each other on this stage. 1 second, Jess. Sorry. They can't hear you. Let me just check why that is, because I know for a fact it'll be something on my side. 1 second. Right, what is going on? Oh God, what's going on? My whole stream's messed up. What is going on? Oh my God. Right. Why has that done that? So, sorry everybody, bear with me. This is the first time that I've done it through here. 1 second. So, options, video and voice settings, soundboard. Guys, if anybody's in the chat and knows what I need to do here, oh, right. 1 second. Let me put that on this screen and see if it's because for some reason my audio isn't being picked up from the other screen, only the one on the left. Can you hear me now that I've put it on this screen? No, what is going on? Sorry, Jess. Right. Sorry guys, this is my first time doing this, so bear with. Desktop audio. I'm just seeing does that help or can you hear me now? 1 second. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing. 1 second. No. So browser source, add new source. Oh right, sorry. 1 second. So where would I get video and audio? So that's that. So I need to add a new one. And it will be commentary box. Brilliant. Yeah. So sorry, 1 second. So if I've got that now, monitor and output from that. Oh, sorry. show now. Yep, got it. So that's that one. So that should be on now, shouldn't it? What is going on? Yeah, I've completely messed this up. So 1 second. Jess, can you? I'm just thinking, can you go into game chat and mute everybody? You just press mute all. I'm just gonna see if I can hear you in the game chat. What, in game chat? No, I don't, because I've got my mic plugged into a controller plugged into the PC. So I'm not using, because the mic, I've lost the old mic. I'm using this mic for this one. So I've completely butchered everything that I'm supposed to be doing. God, this is. I knew I'd mess it up. Capture microphone. New one. Okay. Yeah, I knew I'd butcher it, and I've not been able to. So yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. I'm not all clued up with this sort of stuff. What's the issue? You can't hear it. Yeah, Josh, I don't know how to sort it out, to be honest. Because I'm not picking up audio from it. And what about Discord? Yeah. So it should pick it up, but it's not. I don't know why. It's picking it up. It's saying that I can hear you and I can hear you, but the stream can't hear you, and I don't know why. Try doing audio capture. Yes. Yeah, I did that. I can hear Jess, but everybody else can't. And if somebody's watching, this is the Streamlabs. I don't know what to do to capture the audio. No, I know. I can't believe this. No, that's not even anything to do with that. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Right, what about if I capture? No, it's just not going to work, is it? 1 minute, it's picking something up from desktop. Game capture audio. Oh wait, it's picking something up. That's strange because it's got it on mine as if it's picking it up now. Right, just test one more time. I'm really sorry.
Hello, testing 1 2 3.
Yeah, got it. Right, sorry, I'm so sorry. Right, 8 minutes to go. I'm so sorry. Right, welcome, Jess, to an eventful start to the F7 Comms book. How are we, Jess?
Well, at least we're testing it ahead of if you ever get asked to do comms for any other leagues on PC. So there we go. It's just a test. We got it sorted. Let us know if you can hear us. But we've got 17 drivers, short qualifying because not everyone has turned up to the session.
Exactly that. So Salute has already set the fastest lap so far at 1:16.7. You've got Priz, the German driver, in the Ferrari P2. They're quite bunched up at the start. In the middle, you've got a bit of a tight bunch, and then you've got a little bit of a gap to the bottom where you've got the Salvers, the father and son duo of Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot, and Tupapi is also on a lap at the moment, the VCAM driver.
Yes, it is a very interesting circuit. It is a street circuit. You may not think it's a street circuit, but it is a street circuit. First used was built in '93. First used Formula 1 back in '96. We got the time that was set in Tier 3 earlier was, I think, 1:61. I think it was. So I am expecting the high 16s for qualifying in Tier 4. Don't forget, this is people's first time to the league. They may not be league racing before. This may be their first experience of league racing. So for some of them, it's a little bit of a trip to the unknown. But 1:16.7, that's a solid opening lap time for these Tier 4 guys.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jess. It is. Some of these drivers, first time on the track, just getting used to it, getting used to the surroundings, a brand new tier, and they're just setting their benchmarks. We've got just under 7 minutes to go. Some of these drivers are back out on laps. I think I've just seen Sean in the Ferrari. Yeah, he's just gone off track, the Scuderia driver. And then you've got Jay Cullen in the Aston Martin. He's nearly 4/10 up as he burns that battery down towards the line. The Aston Martin driver is going to put it P2, but it's not quick enough to knock off Salute.
That is a solid lap time from him. He must have found that time in the middle sector. That's where he can really gain it as well. And he's gained some really high top speed in that Aston Martin as well. So I wonder if that's going to help him in the remainder of this session. We've got more people on. I'm trying to get my software set up because I've been busy helping out you. I'm watching Julius, who was purple in the first sector, but he's on 5-lap-old tyres. I'm checking to see if I didn't put it on best. I didn't put it on best, so he's going up to the line, and this is going to be, I think, a very competitive lap time for the Williams driver. It is P3 on 6-lap-old softs. I hope he doesn't need it in the race.
Wow. So yeah, I know that the tyres really do fall off quickly around this. That is surprising. You've got the Hong Kong driver of Jennifer Lee. We are riding on board with him now, the Haas man. He is back on the grid. We know that he can be quick. He used to race in Tier 2 quite a while ago before he dropped away from the grid. So it'll be really satisfying to see what Jennifer can do. He's a people pleaser. A lot of people do respect him and like him. He's raced in quite a few leagues, but he's here in Formula 7 and he is not on a lap. He's 2.5 seconds down. But as we were talking about that, Kevin Gamer in the Williams did go up to P12 and he'll be in his element in this new Tier 4.
Yes, I think for some people this is kind of like a mixed ability grid. Like you were watching Tier 2 and Tier 3 earlier. You were racing in Tier 3 and how close that was. I think this is going to be the only tier where we're going to see, I think, big gaps for some of the grid, because for some people, again, this is their first time in this tier. So I think for those that are starting out, they just want to avoid finishing last, and as they get developed into the season, they will probably learn to improve. As Jennifer Lee goes into the pit, so he was not happy with that one. At least he's going to go into the pits with plenty of time for him to go into the pits. So yeah, you're going to see people who are considerably slower than the top guys, but you've also got the top guys that are what could be quite close to Tier 3 on their good day as well. So yeah, this is the only tier where the gaps could be quite bigger than what we saw with Tier 3 and this morning and Tier 2 this afternoon.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Jess, because it's sort of like Tier 4, the development tier. You don't know where everybody sits in pace. You're going to have huge gaps. You're going to have people who are quite quick for Tier 4, but then you're going to have people where there's nowhere else below Tier 4, so you might have quite a slow driver in with quite a quick Tier 4 driver. So yeah, definitely hit the nail on the head. Nimble Cat in the Alpine. He's just watched his son race in Tier 2. He's now racing, and he's up to P3. And as you know, you've got Mad Right and Vicious Vicar, the father and son duo. You've got Nimblecat, whose son races in Tier 2 and he races in Tier 3. He's got a couple of friends and family race, and one person that everybody knows on the grid is my twin brother, Aidan in the McLaren, who is definitely one of the slower Tier 4 drivers. And if you ask Luki one thing about him, Aidan is his favourite, so he knows exactly what he's like on track.
Honestly, you gotta love people who have family members racing. I've been in many leagues. One Hub is one of them where I've seen a father-son duo race. Not in the same tier though, but they can gradually learn from each other and improve. And I think we could see it here as well. But I think most people are now either on out laps or going out of the pit lane. There's a few people leaving it. They're very late going out on the grid, so I wonder if that's going to cost them less time. But there's people going out early because they want to clear out. I'm watching Topper right now, and he's got Ferrari behind him. That's not going to help him on his lap. I wonder if I think it's Trixicity. I apologize if I get these names wrong, by the way. It's Mad Right has retired, and so is Sean, so they're not going to do any more laps.
No, they're not going to improve at all. Sean, the best position for him is going to be P9 and Mad Riot. Doug also retires, and so does Salute from pole position. Salute, a big shout out to him and Salute Productions with all the work, the new intro that he's been doing, all the billboards around the track that he's put in for us. So big efforts, big shout out to Salute Productions. He's currently on pole position, and to Pappy, I think his German has invalidated it from P16, so he's not going to improve. So Mad Right is not going to improve from P13, and then you've got Shining Swab, who's also invalidated it. So these drivers are finding this tricky at the moment here in Australia.
It is a tricky track. It is an easy track to exceed track limits as well. We've seen in the tiers before us this morning that we've seen quite a few penalties which decided the outcome for some of these drivers in the race. So I think for them invalidating now, it's not going to be good. But for some people, if they have some ERS left, there's some fuel left, they can go again. But I know some people, they like to burn quite a bit of ERS early on in the laps. That's not going to help them at all. But we do have some people on laps at the moment. Julius, interestingly, he's not on an out lap, and he's not on a flyer because his ERS is set to 100%. So I wonder if he's just going to warm his tyres up right now just so we could get his tyres up to temperature and then go out again a little bit later on. It looks warm at the moment, so I think he's going to go out again, do another lap, or he might have invalidated it earlier on. That's probably why. But he's fourth for the moment. Can he challenge the likes of Salou? He's only a few tenths off pole, so it's still possible.
Yeah, definitely. He's got 20 seconds left to get to the line and go again. And Jennifer Lee, the man from Hong Kong, a 1:16.791. He has gone 7/1000ths quicker than Salute, who is already retired, and that moved one of the drivers. We had 5 drivers in the 1:16.9s, but Jennifer's into the 7s. The checkered flag has waved. Julius has invalidated his follow-up lap, so he's not going to improve. Priz has hit the lap as well. Vicious Vicar and Kevin Gamer. So it's all down to OJK Swiss, Cinders, and I think Julius invalidated. So that is it. It's literally just Cinders and Swiss now.
We're seeing Swiss saying personal best in the first and the second sector, but it's not purple in any stretch of the imagination. I'm not seeing any purples, Nathan, on our timing sheet, so it looks like Jennifer's going to get on pole position, but could Swiss get in at the top 10? His first sector, I have to say, was pretty good, a 27.2 compared to the drivers around him who's done a 20 in the 28. So Swiss goes in 15, so he does not improve. Cinders, I think, is the last person to set a lap. I don't think he's purple either. 17.3 middle sector. That's pretty not too shabby for the Alpine driver. He exits the penultimate corner. Very tight line. It's very tricky on this game, as we could see. He goes up to the line. Is it going to be good enough for pole position? The answer to that is a 1:17.3, which puts him into PA. I believe he went purple final sector, so that was very good. But we've got Jennifer, who is on pole position for the first time in Tier 4.
Yeah, so Cinders could not find that improvement, and as Jess said, Jennifer Lee is the man on pole position. The front two separated by 7/1000ths of a second, and then behind him is very close and bunched up, and I cannot wait to see what the race gives us, because 20 or so laps, I think it's 24 around here, will be absolutely incredible. So it is Jennifer Lee, the man from Hong Kong, that takes pole position here in Australia. Salute the Romanian in the Mercedes in P2 will join him on the front row. Then we've got Jay Gullen in P3 and Nimble in P4. On the third row of the grid, you've got Julius in the Williams in P5 and Pritzi in the Ferrari in P6. A giant stick in the Red Bull in P7 and Cinders in the Alpine in P8. Then comes Doug and Sean to complete the top 10. The final roundup, Vicker, Kevin Gamer, Shining Swan, Mad Riot, Swiss to Pappy and Adi complete the 17 drivers for round 1.
And we usually have Q2 and Q3, but of course we don't have many drivers, so we're going straight to the race. And we know in the other tiers, some people tried to make the one-stop work. It was an absolute nightmare for some of those drivers, but for some drivers, it probably didn't work anyway because of the amount of safety cars. And with this caliber of a grid, I wonder if we're going to see, I think, more safety cars than any other tiers, as most of them get used to people on circuits. We don't know, but I know a one-stop is an absolute nightmare to manage around it. I think we could definitely see a two-stop from pretty much everyone, but maybe the top guys could try and do a one-stop and see if they can make it work. But I'm guessing most people would want to start on the medium compounded tyres.
Yeah, I think that's a definite call there. The one stop is such a struggle. You lose so much time. You've got to time it to perfection, and then if a safety car comes out, it just messes everything up. I think we'll have maybe a couple of brave drivers try to get to the one stop, but as Jess said, I think we'll be looking at 2, even sometimes a 3 if the safety cars come out, and I'm sure that we'll see some absolutely incredible racing as we head into the formation lap.
Yeah, a chance for them to warm the tyres up, of course. We don't want to get people to get disqualified. Of course, it looks overcast at the moment. We have no idea what the weather is going to have in store, but I think it's going to be an overcast race, it seems. So no rain to start the first race of the season, which is great to see. Let's see what the tyres are for our drivers. We've got a mixture of hards and mediums. One driver's gone for the softs, and that is your brother down in 17.
Oh, God. Well, somebody, he mustn't have got the memo. Softs are absolutely the wrong tyre around here, but that means he's got to commit to a two-stop now. So unless we get an early safety car, that soft compound tyre is just a ridiculous tyre to choose, but you never know. Adi was actually, when Formula 7 first started 6 years ago, our very first ever race was round 1 in Australia, and Adi actually won that, so he's actually our first ever race winner, and now he starts in the back 6 years later.
From hero to zero, it seems. But yeah, we know with softs. Yeah, I agree with you. I starting on softs, unless it's a mandatory two-stop race, starting on softs, it's gonna die quickly after, I think, 4-5 laps. But I think from experience, this is the track where you start going on softs. That's any other point in the race is I think a viable strategy, especially if we get a late safety car. I think it lasts more time compared to the other tracks we're going to see on the calendar. So, but in terms of everyone else, we've got our pole sitter Jennifer, who's on medium. So is Golan and Nimble Cat. Also on the mediums, we've got the Aston Martin of Doug. We also got Vicious Vicar, Kevin Gamer, Shining Swarm, Mad Riot, and OG Swiss. Everyone else, apart from your brother, of course, has opted for the hard compounded tyres. And I'll hand it over to you for the start.
Thank you very much, Jess. So we are getting going. The drivers will line up and get into their formation grid slots as we give a big shout out on the billboards above to our partners at Sim Racing Setups. You can get the perfect race setup for Formula 1, a setup course, so you name it, they've got it, and use code F7R for a 5% discount. So we get ready. Jennifer Lee is raring to go as he just points the car ever so slightly to the right to try and cut off that rapid Romanian that is alongside him in P2. He will have the inside lane going down in towards turn 1, so it's anybody's guess who will come out on top. But here we go for Formula 7 racing here in round 1 for tier 4. and it's lights out and away we go. The Mercedes did get a good start. You've got Jay Cullen as well. The Mercedes is going to go down in towards turn 1. He's got the inside line as we called it. They go wheel to wheel, the Haas driver and the Mercedes. Jennifer Lee just creeps back ahead. There's drama behind, but the front two are battling already. They are not waiting around, and they are going hell for leather here as the Haas driver does get back in front. Jay Cullen stays in P3, Nimble in P4. There's a bit of drama as Prince goes off the track and the Williams of Julius goes through and picks up the position. The Mexican bringing it straight back and going back into his formation position, but a little bit of drama at the back as Kate Swiss drops to P17.
Not good from him, as we're seeing Mad Riot, I think, had the biggest start out of anyone. He's made his way up into P9, but we saw Julius there. There's literally battles going left, right, and centre as we head towards turn 9 and 10 at the moment. They're going to try and make it 3 wide. That's not going to work there, folks. I'm watching Nimblecat. He's got a bit of front wing damage on the front right, so that's why he's probably dropping way down the order compared to everybody else, and that's why they're going 3 wide. But everyone else, no front wing damage for anybody apart from Nimble. So Nimble must have made contact with quite a few drivers on the grid. But apart from that, everyone making it relatively clean so far. But yeah, Salu, best out of anyone in the top 5, it seems.
He is. So it was a bit of a struggle there, especially off the line. But Jennifer did a good job at holding it on through sector 1 and 2. Jay Cullen, going on to the second lap, has already picked up a 3-second time penalty, but he is chasing down Jennifer. Is he going to go for that lunge at the inside? No, he's going to think better of it. And as Jess picked up Nimblecat with that slight from wing damage, had a great qualifying as well, and I'm sure he will try and get to that pit stop window, get that front wing chase. There's no point compromising the race at this moment in time if he can just sort of limp along. But he's got a very quick Aston Martin in duck just behind him, and Kate Swiss obviously just overtaking Amy there as McLaren goes off the track.
You could see that I think the wear on the rears especially is starting to struggle for some of our drivers down near the bottom. I know in controller, I've spoken to a few drivers on controller on this game. They find it a lot trickier than the wheel in terms of tyre wear. As Doug goes up the inside of Nimblecat up into 7, which shows the front wing damage for Nimble is definitely compromising him. If I was Nimble, I would go into the pits. Mad Riot has gained a position from him as well. So Doug and Mad Riot capitalising on Nimblecat. Cinders, if I were you, I would get past your teammate, my friend, but Nimble's just losing so much time by staying out. By having this amount of front wing damage is definitely hurting him. But let's watch the battle for the lead. We got Jennifer versus Salu again with DRS enabled, and we got the Red Bull closing in as well, trading in faster lap times. So going in towards turn 4 now, we'll see who's going to have the best straight line speed. Turn 9 and 10 is going to be, I think, the one to watch out for later on. But yeah, Jennifer and Salu definitely staying nose to tail currently, and with them on different strategies, we're going to see how the delta is going to come into effect. If Salu pulls a massive gap, then we know that the memes are not so good. But at the moment, seems to be even thus far. Jennifer has brilliant straight line speed, it seems. He's got DRS coming through. Surely he's going to go, he can go past, and it's a double DRS zone, I believe. So here he goes. And I think that's going to be the move done for the Haas driver. Yes, it is. He takes the lead of the Australian Grand Prix.
Oh, Salu's into the wall.
Oh, no.
He's just spun it as he got overtaken by Jennifer. He's pinned it into the wall. And that is a virtual safety car. He has. Oh, no.
He's got all front wing damage everywhere and rearing damage, which rearing damage around here is an absolute nightmare. I tried it before and I just got overtaken left, right and centre. But with this virtual safety car, this allows people a chance to get their first pit stops out of the way. They think the 2-stop won't work, Julian being one of them. He has no damage, so he's opted for the hards early. So is Cinders and I think Cinders staying out. So apologies, my bad. But Nimblecat and Salu, great opportunity for them to get their damage repaired. Salu especially with the 66% front wing damage they have on that car. But I'm surprised for some of the lower people that they haven't gone in and pitted to get rid of any penalties or anything. I thought they would have pitted, but never mind. I think they want to stretch their mediums as long as they can.
Yeah, and to see Nimble car, he took full advantage of that virtual safety car. He got in there and he got that front wing chase, and it would have saved him a little bit of time. 80 obviously went in there and got off them soft compounds, but it was just at the back end of that VSC, so it wouldn't have saved him too much time. So it did benefit them ever so slightly. Salute still with that rear wing damage, as Jess said. There's no way that can be repaired. Kevin gave it a time penalty, but at the front now it is Jennifer Lee that leads to a second to Julius, who is not within that DRS range, but Giant Stick in the Red Bull on the back of Priz. So we've got Hong Kong to Mexico to Germany, our front three here down under.
Different countries occupying the top three. We saw that in the other tiers earlier on as well, where we've had, I think, multiple countries occupy the top 10. So we are a global league at F7, it sounds like. Giant Stick looks like he's going to go for the move on Prix, as Prix wasn't using any battery. Giant Stick was using quite a bit of battery, so but no moves as of yet, it seems. And I'm just looking at the previous lap times. It seems to me Giant Stick seems to be, I think, a lot faster in the middle sector, and this is going to prove my theory right here. He's got the DRS. I don't think he's going to burn batteries. Toppers out the race. Toppers out the race, and is that a safety car? Yes, it is. Safety car deployed.
Safety car is out on lap 5 to Pappy in the V-Cab is out in round 1. And as Jess was just picking up on a Giant Stick, you can see the last lap times on the screen. So he was quicker than both of the drivers around him on lap 2 and 3. So the Red Bull driver definitely picking up that pace. And Jennifer, now what does he do? He's on their mediums, and yeah, he's going to go in and get off. But even the drivers on the hard compounds, Julius is going in at 4, maybe. Well, is it just a free stop, Jess? Is there no point in staying out at this point?
I think with the amount of safety cars we could possibly get, I think it's good that you get one of your stops out the way, because if you don't get one of your stops out the way, and if we don't get any safety cars later, you're going to be the one that loses time, because you gain more time via safety cars. We've seen a couple of penalties for speeding in the pit lane. I think we're seeing the Aston Martin. Oh, it was Gullen who got a penalty, I think. And let me just check as they go out the pits. Yes, Gullen has got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and we also got Kevin Gamer, who's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. So yes, from experience, I've sped in the pit lane quite a few times around it. So easy to do. So yeah, but for Gullen, that is a huge disadvantage for him. Everyone else, though, seems to me they did not speed, and they're all okay. Most people are keeping it relatively warning-free, which is quite surprising. But we are seeing a few people on one warning, so they got to keep it careful at the moment. But Cinders and Sean staying out, as well as Shining Swarm. Cinders and Sean I understand, because they're on hard and they're going to try and stretch the hard as long as they possibly can. But Shining Swarm, if I was him, I would have pitted. Same with K Swiss. You're going to lose so much more time now. Just go onto a set of hard tyres. You'll fat me later for it. But yeah, Cinders and Sean, I understand why they're staying out. But for Shining Swarm, huge disadvantage for them staying out. He's going to get absolutely swamped by Jennifer and Julius.
He's going to get shining swamped right from the start. Kevin Gamer in the V-Car just came out of the pits, got rid of 10 seconds, I think, or he got 10 seconds going in. He's come out and got front wing damage. He's hit the back of Fisher's Vicar, so he's now got to go back in and get that front wing repaired, which is a costly mistake, but maybe get rid of that speeding into the pit lane penalty. As everybody knows, one of my biggest pet hates is a penalty for speeding in the pits. We've all done it. But under a safety car, you've got no time to lose. 10 seconds is such a big penalty to get whilst you're so cramped up on the track. So yeah, really unfortunate. But going on to the leaders now, Cinders is now your race leader. He is not pitted in that Alpine. You've got Sean in the Ferrari, who is up to P2, and then you've got Jennifer Lee, who was the race leader before the safety car, is now in P3. He's got a couple of slower drivers in front of him. If we have a look at the reaction time from the race start from Jennifer Lee, it's 5.31 for the Haas driver. I just want to have a look at the reaction time for Salute, who got into the lead from the start. His reaction time, 5.3, so it was exactly the same as the Jennifer Lee's reaction time, but it was just he was able to sort of keep his pedal on the throttle a little bit quicker than Jennifer.
Yes, he must have had good traction, I don't know, but oh my god, what I love about this software is finding out how much time people gain from reactions. People think it's nothing, those milliseconds, but every millisecond counts in this race, and if you get a bad start, this may hinder you for the first few laps of this race, and it's brilliant to see it being so equal near the front, which shows that they're trying to gain so much more time compared to their rivals. I do believe we're just waiting on Kevin Gamer to catch up to the safety car. Oh, it's coming in this lap. Okay, never mind. Cinders is going to be the Burt Mylander. This is late coming in, so he's got to think about when to go.
Yeah, so he's going to be the one holding it. He comes out of turn 14, gets his foot down. Shiny as well, got a really bad exit out of turn 14. But it is Cinders that leads to Sean in that Ferrari going down in towards turn 1. Salute is back into the pit lane. The man that was leading this Grand Prix at the end of lap 1 is now dead last in this race. Jennifer Lee is closing the gap, but he's not been able to overtake Cinders, and Sean goes deep, and onto the gravel goes the Ferrari driver. He's now going to hold on as the other Ferrari-powered car of the Haas is now all over his rear diffuser. You've got Julius and Prince, the two Ferraris, looking extremely strong. And then you've got the two Red Bulls of Giant Stick and K-Swiss, but it is all going on up front. Here comes Jennifer Lee on the back of Sean. He's into the slipstream. He'll move over to the left-hand side, and he will have the inside line as we head down in towards turn 10. And the Haas driver is back up to P2 and chasing down the unhitting MSC F1 Cinders.
Jennifer had to do it at some point, but Julius has to do it now. But Julius has got another card to worry about. On the medians, we've got Fritz in the Ferrari going to try and go around the outside in towards turn 11. He's going to try and make it stick, but we know that Williams is not going to give up. It's a very tricky corner to go for a move. The Ferrari runs wide, so it doesn't look like he's going to make a move this time around. But the Red Bull saying a Hulk effect, see you later. He is through on those mediums, and he could do something that the Ferrari could not, and that is get past the Ferrari. And I could say the Red Bull is trying to look very fast at the moment, as I was seeing quite a few warnings. A lot of people are pushing the track limits quite quickly. Here comes the Red Bull. I don't think he's going to make the move. No, he's not. This is now fighting stuff on lap 9 and 29, but you can see Sean is holding his own right now, still in third place. He's not losing that much time as Jennifer Lee trying to get past Cinders, and he does. Jennifer through in towards turn 6, and he takes the lead of this Grand Prix as Cinders is off and had a moment. Yellow flag.
He's got a missing front wing end plate as he went for the overtake, Jennifer. I think they can come together, and a slight coming together, and Cinders hitting the wall. So now Doug and K-Swiss are going on it. You've got Giant Stick and Julius. You go wheel to wheel through the left and right hander. It is Giant Stick now into the podium places, and that is MSC F1 Cinders being swabbed as Vicker, Jay Cullen and Nimble, his teammate, all go through. Yellow flags are waving. Salute is out. Oh my god, there's a huge crash. Safety car, Jess. My goodness, what is going on?
It was a huge pile-up. I'm looking at the replay, so I did not catch that. But yeah, that was a shame there. I think we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 cars out there on track that got front wing damage. I think the Mercedes had full front wing damage when he retired, unfortunately. But I don't know how the Nimble Cat is survived in this race, because he's got full front wing damage, and he'll probably need to go to the pits as well. So yeah, 5 drivers going in to the pits, and Nick just put in the chat, what a moment to join. It seems like you had cursed on our drivers there. You bring out safety cars, but there we go, our second safety car of the race. And I think everyone has completed their first stops now. Swiss had no choice to pit, and if I was him, I think he got 10 seconds just now, did he? Yeah, he did. He's got 10 seconds. Ew.
Absolute drama in the opening 10 laps here in Australia. And as we said, the drivers, they've still got to get used to each other. They've still got to get used to the way they race each other and battle each other. But we still need to have that on-track respect. You still need to give that space, guys, to make sure that you're keeping it clean as much as possible. Obviously, so it's very difficult, and I can completely understand where the drivers are coming from, because you will come up against drivers that have completely different braking points to you, completely different acceleration points. They take different lines into different chicanes, so I get it's tricky and it's tough to get overtakes, but you've got to be a little bit aware. You've got to expect them to take a different line, and just make sure you're doing that throughout the race. We've seen a lot of drivers come out of this with extremely big damage to their front and rear wings. All the drivers are now into the pit lane, looking at all the car information. There doesn't seem to be a driver on track with any damage currently.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and everyone is squeaky clean in terms of damage at the moment. But never say never once we get to the safety car restart. But we do have people on penalties, though. I was expecting more people to get penalties at this stage of the race. I think we're going to see that more penalties come up later on. But I'm keeping my eye on Shining Swarm. He's on 2 warnings right now. So if he was someone to watch out to get another penalty, he would be one of those drivers that has to keep it clean from this point onwards, because otherwise he'll get 3 seconds. We also got Sean, who's also on 2 warnings as well. Fair play to Giant Stick. He's gonna. I think he's my money for the win, because he's got no warnings. And Jennifer in front of him has got one warning to his name. He's usually a driver that likes to keep it clean. I'm keeping my eye on him for the race win, and Prix is doing quite well as well. Yes, he's on 1 warning, but he's managing his tyres quite well. And for some people, they want to get their means out the way early, so then they can go on to cars later on. And yes, safety cars already done more mileage than probably most drivers on the grid.
Yeah, that's probably a decent shout. The safety car has been out quite a bit. We've had a VSC and 2 safety cars, so we know with the remaining 18 or so laps that we can only have another 2, as there can only be 5 occasions throughout the race. So these drivers will be aware of that now. Tier 4 is not going to plan for some of these drivers. You've got Nimble, who started in P4, way down in P14. You've got AD, who started in P17 up to P7. The grid is very mixed. Salute, who started in P2 and ended the first lap in P1, is now out of the race. It's completely turned on its head, and it will be Jennifer Lee to get us underway on the restart. So the Haas driver in P1, so a Giant Stick in the Red Bull in P2, and Priz in P3. He has gone very early here. Jennifer has gone extremely early, even before he hit turn 13. Sorry, before turn 12, down in towards 13 and 14. He is half a second clear, and Jennifer has gone for it. Priz is 8 tenths behind. Julius is already out of DRS. They haven't even reached the start-finish line. So, incredible start from the front 3, and Julius has been left behind by nearly a second and a half. And to go down in towards turn 1, they are quite spaced out for a safety car restart, which is quite remarkable. Here comes Sean on Kevin Gamer. Kevin Gamer trying to hold on. Is Shining Swarm, the man from Macau, is on the inside of the McLaren. The McLaren leaves him the space. Shining Swarm backs out, don't want any part of it at this moment in time. He's going to wait for a better overtaking opportunity, and the Papaya is proceeding to stay in front of the moment, and Shining Swarm is staying with him. But Kevin Gamer and Sean, the Ferrari and the Williams, down in towards turn 6. No DRS until the next lap, and here comes the Mercedes on the McLaren. He's not going to be close enough to get the move just at this moment in time.
We are seeing the leaders still fighting for position, as we're seeing Giant Stick using his battery now. I don't think that's going to give him too much advantage currently, as he's still stuck behind the end in that Haas. So I think the Haas seems to be working quite well. It's not going to be that long before the Haas are the better tyre, as we're seeing battles happening at the back again. Sean past Kevin Gamer again. Man Riot past Cinders, as we can see the Mercedes and Shining Swarm. He's run a bit too deep, as that almost costed the McLaren's line. DRS is enabled for the first time in God knows how long. I don't think we've had DRS enabled in this race. Side by side goes the Ferrari of Sean on 80, it looks like, and Sean is behind the McLaren at the moment, but don't forget the McLaren has not pitted, well, he has pitted, but has considerably older tyres compared to his rivals, as Gunn has passed Kevin Gamer. Sean trying to go for a very brave move up the inside and towards turn 4, doesn't quite do it. There's a lot of brave moves happening in Tier 4, it seems.
There is, literally, I'm watching it and I cannot believe that some of the audacity of these drivers going for these moves. 80 is considerably slower than Sean, and Sean knows it. Here it comes, wheel to wheel, side by side they go, and it's the Scuderia that comes out ahead and into P8, and now Jake Gullen wants a piece of the action as he slams it up the inside of turn 9, and that is Giant Stick as well that's taken the lead in the Grand Prix. Jennifer comes back, we are battling right now on lap 13. Mad Right is through in the Sauber as they go wheel to wheel once again, but it's Jennifer Lee that stays in the lead. Mad Right in the Sauber is through, and 80 is now down to P11, and all the drama is now starting to unfold as we hit near the midway point.
Drama is unfolding here, and with tyres starting to degrade for our medium runners, that means the ones on the hards are definitely going to take advantage now. Like Julius, for example. Julius, I would imagine, is going to take advantage and wait patiently. He's got a good box seat in front of all of this drama, because if Eddie, safety car, the McLaren has gone off. Does he have front wing damage? Doesn't look like it. What on earth caused that safety car?
I have no idea why that safety car's come out. We were just getting into the action again and the safety car's come out. So this is not the start to this tier.
Cinders. Front wing damage.
Yeah. No front wing.
I'm seeing it on SimHub. On both on the front left and right, front wing damage.
Yeah, so Cinders, no front wing. That has brought out the safety car and the 4th of this race. And I know for a fact the Tier 4 drivers will be fuming about this. They will not want this as their kind of opening race to Tier 4. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going at the moment. These drivers, as we said, just still getting used to each other, getting used to the pace of the drivers around them. The Alpines have really been in the wars this race, haven't they?
Yeah, it's like real life, isn't it? Where they're bottom of the championship and they're bottom here as well. It's not ideal, but I do. What points do you get for if you hit it top 4, top 12, top 14, top 15? I don't know. Who gets points basically? Is it everyone that finishes now from now on?
Top 15.
Yeah, so as long as you finish, you'll get points, ladies and gentlemen. So please finish this race as Cinders goes very slowly in the pit lane, as we're seeing more, pretty much almost everybody from 6 downwards going to the pit. Oh! Someone's been disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Okay, Cinders.
That was great.
That was a weird glitch. And he's been held up by his teammate as well.
So Cinders is out of the race. That's one Alpine gone. Unbelievable what has happened in this race. This is one of them races where you're watching, my goodness, what's happening. And we are witnessing it live, unfortunately. So Cinders disqualified and out of the race, now moved to P17. His teammate is at the back of the running grid, and Jennifer is still leading to the Mexican of Julius. Driver from Macau, shining strong, in at P3, the 2 Red Bulls still 6 and 7. The Ferraris were in strong position, they're now down in at P8 and P11. But as Jess said, points are down to P15, and we've seen last season the championship in 2 of the tiers were separated by less than 6 points, less than 2 in another tier. So these points that you pick up at the back of the race can be vital at the end of the season.
Yes, I think in real life, I know in 2007, if you remember, the championship came down to like 1 point. So, yeah, yes, you may think, oh, this race is boring, I might just retire. You may have a rubbish round 1, but the rest of the season may go to plan, and you may lose the championship just because you DNF'd in round 1 in Australia. So don't DNF, people. As Giant Stick in the Red Bull has pitted. Now that is interesting. He's pitting way more than earlier than everybody else. He's going to go on to the softs, and he's changing his front wing. I was going to keep an eye on his pit loss time, but that was hard to keep track of at the moment. But yeah, he had front wing damage apparently. His teammate has got front wing damage, and so does Sean.
Wow, so people still getting damaged. The safety car is out, and a giant stick who was fighting for the lead of this Grand Prix has now had to go in and get repaired. Sean has got that front left damage as well, and as just pointed out, Jake Gullen, sorry, who was it?
Sean.
So Sean Ferrari with that damage, yeah, missing it play. Wow, so the safety car is still out, and these drivers are having to pit to get this replaced. We've got 13 laps to go and only one available yellow flag safety car to come out, so it is literally F11 now, and the drivers are going to be going for it, but it's still going to be careful.
Especially with it being overcast, I think for the rest of this race now, I would have seen a rain slot somewhere, but I don't see it come anytime soon. So they're going to have to get used to this. And if I were Pricks, I don't think the mediums are going to get to the end. I keep my eye on the Aston Martin of Doug and Vicker. Those cars, I think, could get to the end of this race. So if we don't get any more safety cars, they don't have to pit again, and they can get to the end of the race fine. Everybody else, I think, will have to do at least one more stop, as Jennifer's got underway again quite early as he makes his way towards turn number 1. I think he had a better reaction time compared to everybody else, and Swiss is again out of DRS compared to Mad Riot. So we've got Jennifer that leads from Julius, from Shining Swarm, from Gullen. Those four got away quite well under that safety car restart. Fritz has got away well from Swiss. He's got past him. I'm into 6th. That front wing damage is really costing that Red Bull driver down behind.
Yeah, so Swiss now dropping to P8. Sean is on the back of Vicious Vicker, the Sauber into P9. His teammate in the Sun in P5. Then you've got AD in the McLaren. Nimble trying to make up some good work to get back to where he qualified. He's got 12 laps to save this race, and he's got a giant stick who looks real quick. He's on them softs, remember? Yeah, and he's making light work of this Alpine. And the Red Bull around the outside of Nimblecat. Then you've got Sean that makes the move on Vicious Vicker. He's now up to P9, the Ferrari driver through on the Sauber. Another yellow flag. I don't know why, but going back on board with the leaders, it is Jennifer Lee that leads to Julius in P2. Look at Jay Cullen all over the rear diffuser. Kevin Gamer is through on 80. The Williams on the McLaren. The McLaren goes back later on the brakes around the outside, and here comes the Red Bull of a giant stick, and he's got to navigate these tough competitors in front. And Jess is right. Jay Cullen and Shining Swarm. You take it from here, Jess.
I think one of them, Shining Swarm, lost a bit of ground on Jay Gullen. He almost made contact. I'm just seeing if they got damage. No, they don't. But we got the Ferrari trying to get past the kick Sauber. Sister team versus the parent team. Can the parent team show the sister team who is boss? The answer to that is yes. Pricks is through into P5 at the moment on those mediums, but we know he has to stop one more time because I know that those mediums won't get until the end of this race. But we could see but the Ferrari's not giving up here. He's going to try and get past more drivers. The other Ferrari's had a good second half of this race. He's passed on Vicious Vicker as he's up into A. I'm watching the Ferrari up in 5th ERS. He's hardly got any, and with a track like Australia, if you burn your battery quite quickly within the first few laps, if someone's gone wide, Shining Swarm's gone wide again. Has it got to change for the lead as well? There's so much going on, Nathan. Julius is up into the lead.
It's absolutely incredible. So Julius is now into the lead. You've got a giant stick overtaking his teammate who's just dropping like a stone in water. He's now down to P12. You've got the middle of the pack fighting for places. You've got Shining Swan going wide and losing 3 places. Priz is now on the back of Jay Cullen for a podium. Jay Cullen's got a penalty, so it means that the German is up to P3. He is now chasing down the Aston Martin. Nimble is now through. Swiss is back into the pit lane, and these two are down in towards turn 1 as the Aston Martin pushes the Ferrari wide. Here comes Mad Right in the Sauber, who's now chasing down a podium. Mad Riot in the green machine will go later on the brakes on that Scuderia, but the Ferrari gives him the space. Great racing between the pair of them as Priz just about stays in front. The Saubers onto the curb and he has to back out and into P5.
Mad Riot, fair play for him going for that move, but unfortunately he just couldn't get his nose in. But to be fair, he can gain quite a bit of time in the middle sector. As Giant Stick and McLaren have made contact, and that's our last safety car of the race. I did not see what happened, but this is just, we used all our safety cars, Nathan, in round 1.
Oh my god, 19 laps, 5 safety cars,
one PSC.
yes. This is unbelievable. So a huge smash between the McLaren and the Red Bull. At least the fans who are watching this are enjoying it. They're saying it's better than Super Sunday. So at least they're entertaining. At least they're entertaining them. But my goodness, what is going on here?
I have no idea at the moment. There was quite a few drivers almost got murdered from some of the drivers near the back as well. We're down to 12 runners, and understandably, the ones who have been on those hards for a long period of time are coming in for a set of the meetings. So these will get to the end. Donde saying his 3PS will never be boring again. I don't know about that one, but we'll see. More penalties for speeding in the pit lane again. I'm surprised Jennifer Nathan hasn't pitted. I thought he would have pitted for a set of mediums, but he's caught up to the safety car, so if he pits now, it'll be a bit too late. Surely those hards won't get to the end, right? I don't think so. He's on, but to be fair, I'm looking at his wear now, it could do, but if it was an ordinary person, he wouldn't get those to the end. But yeah, he's managing his tyres really well, that he could get to the end quite well. So we'll see. But if it was me on 14 lap on tyres, I wouldn't get to the end, definitely not. But for him, he's managing his tyres perfectly. But to be fair, we've had like 4 safety cars, so he can make it last to the end, no problem. But his tyres are going to be crying for mercy on 60% later on in this race.
For me as well, I don't think I'd get to the end of the race. So Jennifer has decided to stay out on 14 lap old hard. So he's going to have to pit here, Jennifer. I'm really surprised. You've still got Priz, Doug, Sean and Vicious Vic who stayed out. Julius who pitted. Mad Riot has stayed out on 4 lap old hard. So the hard runners, as in Vicker and Doug and Mad Riot, will get to the end. Jennifer, I don't think will. I mean, 14 laps on the hards. I'd be very surprised if we do another 9 on them. Priz, I think, will
keep
be
an eye on Doug. Keep an eye on Doug. I did say earlier on, keep an eye on Doug on those hards. He's stayed out. He's on 11% tyre wear. He could potentially win this race. Julius on fresh mediums. We know they can last, I think, 9 laps quite comfortably. So watch out for him. We're not going to get any more safety cars, so if you've not pitted, you're pretty much screwed yourself. Kevin Gamer's going into the pit lane at the moment. I'm still perplexed on why Jeneb hasn't come in, because we're going to see the guys like Doug and Julius that's probably going to get him on like lap 23, 24. I tried staying out on the hards on one track. I think it was Imola, and I got swarmed by loads of cars within a few laps. It's just not doable towards the end of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm really baffled as to why Jennifer's decided to stay. He could have pitted there as well and then returned to the back of the grid under the safety car. But when he pits now, if he pits, he's essentially going to be a pit stop behind everybody. He's already on the old tyres, so he's going to be so much slower. He's going to be struggling to drive that Hashtag car. This is going to be his 3rd time leading the safety car restart. It's been amazing the previous 2 times, but Jennifer's going to struggle a lot here. 14 lap old hard tyres to get the safety car restart underway with so many quick drivers behind. You called it about Doug in the Aston Martin, and I think he's the one to watch, as you said.
Yeah, I think he could be the one that holds his own, and I think some people in the chat agree with me as well, which is great to see. But the safety car, I think, still got its lights on, but we saw in the first safety car or the second safety car that it came out so late. So I will not be surprised if it goes in late again. The light is still on. I'm staying on board with him. Yeah, he's going to stay up for another lap as we're waiting for Kevin Gamer to catch up to the safety car. So one more lap of safety car as Bert Mylander's definitely getting his paycheck today, isn't he?
He definitely is. And I'm just looking at the tyres, and I think you're right with what you said. I'm surprised that he's not worn his tyres a lot more than what he has done, considering he's now done 15 laps on the hard, and his tyre wear on the left side, which is really tough on this circuit, 27% for the front left and 34% for the rear left. I thought he might struggle to get to the end, but looking at them tyre wear, I don't think he will.
I think he will. I think he'll get to the end fine. The thing I'm questioning about is the other drivers around him that have got lower tyre wear, fresher rubber. He's going to fall down right down the order, and he's going to be vulnerable to potentially getting damage if he's not too careful. So yes, he can get to the end, no problem. It's just the drivers on fresher tyres. Shining Swarm, I think, one of those examples as well. Pretty much everyone is on fresher tyres than him. He may be last at the end of lap 23. He doesn't want that. So I wonder if he's made the wrong decision. Now, I can't see everyone's ERS because some people forgot to enable their telemetry. But, naughty. But safety cars in this lap. If I was Jenith, I would be counting your, praying that everyone else has a bit of a calamity behind you, because if they don't have carnage, I think he's going to be in the middle of the pack by like 2 laps.
Yeah, I think you've got that spot on. Absolutely right. And Jennifer is now going to get us underway for the safety car restart for the final time here in Tier 4. 22 out of 29 laps done and dusted. 7 to go. Jennifer is not going to go as early as he has been doing, and I think that might be tactical. He's going around turn 12 down towards turn 13 now, and now he goes. He sees a slight, he's incredible at them safety car restarts. He waits, he waits for the driver behind to make a slight move to the opposite direction, and off he goes. And they've left Doug 1.8 behind. Doug has lost so much time. Here comes Sean. What happened to the Aston Martin driver of Doug? And Sean and Vicious Vicar cannot go past him until they hit the start-finish line. So that Doug has essentially held them all up, but he's looking very, very slow. And the Ferrari is literally swarming him, trying to get him to move on. He's 3 seconds behind Priz. What has happened to the Aston Martin? Mad Right is front. Julius returns the favour.
Julius is definitely taking advantage on those fresh mediums, it sounds like, at the moment, but Jen is somehow still holding the lead. But if I were the Ferrari, I would try and get the move ASAP. You can't see the Ferrari tyre, but I can't either. But I think Jennifer's quite lucky that Prix has probably got worse tyre wear than him. The Aston Martin is struggling, so Jennifer could take this win after all, and the Ferrari's got a 3-second time penalty will be added to him for the end of this race. Julius looks like he could get another driver soon, maybe on the next lap. Mad Riot gets past his teammate up into 6th.
So Mad Right has been let go by his teammate to go and get the extra points, so we'll see what he can do. He's now on the back of Julius, but he runs wide, and his teammate now has to slow down to correct his mistake. Let him correct his mistake. DRS is now enabled. Sean chasing down Doug. Doug is 3 seconds behind Priz, and Priz has got a 3-second time penalty. That safety car restart was really bad for Doug, because he essentially has now let Priz have a free penalty in front of him. He needs to get back within that 3 seconds. They are piling up behind. I don't know what's going on with Doug, but it seems a little bit sketchy at the moment. His driving seems a bit all over the place, and that is Shining Swarm in the Mercedes losing places. He barrels down to P11.
Shining Swarm, we thought he was going to be the one that takes advantage, but he's taken a disadvantage out of all of that, and he's got no damage, but his tyres are crying for me. I could see he had grass on his tyres as he came out of turn 6. So absolute nightmare for him as the Ferrari's taken the lead of this Grand Prix. Julius has got past the other Ferrari of Sean, so Julius is looking like he's going to get a podium here. I think he was the one who just picked up another warning there, as we're seeing more penalties. You can see Doug's not using that much battery, whereas Julius was. Julius, I wonder if is he going to be saving after he gets past? I don't know. He's got a good chance of getting even P2 of this race, but he wants P3 so badly now. He's got a much better exit compared to Doug. He's going to get the DRS. He's burning the ERS, getting the toe from the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin goes defensive to the left-hand side, but Julius like, no, thank you. I'm going to get past you up to third.
What an overtake from Julius. He is now in the clear and raring to go to catch the leaders. Whilst all that was going on, Nimbuka had a collision with Jay Gullen and got more damage to that front wing, which is just remarkable. The Alpines literally cannot stay out of trouble. They've just been so unlucky throughout this race. Priz is now the race leader. Jennifer Lee knows he's got a time penalty. He can just stay with him, just launch onto that DRS, and somebody else just picked up a time penalty there. That was Jay Gullen as Kate Swiss moves through the Red Bull driver, and now the shining swarm, and Jay Gullen is dropping like a stone. But it is Priz that leads, but he does have a time penalty.
Yes, more time penalties for a lot of our drivers, including Jay Gullen, who's up to 6 seconds now, and Kevin Gamer on 12 seconds. But with the likes of the front runners getting time penalties, that could help the ones that are usually keep it penalty free, can maybe get their best results ever in the league. This could be their first race in the league, and they could get their podium before the season really gets to the nail biting point. As we're seeing a few DNFs already, but Jenneth, his pace is still looking quite promising on 20 laps. If I was it, I would give him driver of the day already, but he's recharging currently. If I was him, keep an eye on Fritz, but also keep an eye on Julius. He's 1.5 seconds behind, but we know that those meetings don't last forever. Jennings has got to get the move on the Ferrari done now, because otherwise Julius will be on you in like a lap.
He will. Julius is looking very quick. Here comes Jenneth with the DRS enabled. Now that rear wing wide open, and he's just staying with them. Julius losing a little bit of time down that straight due to that DRS. Then you've got Matt Wright in the Sauber all over the back of the Ferrari that just hit the wall coming around turn 5, and he's now onto the grass, and this is the opening that they were waiting for, and Matt Wright pounces like a cat, and Vicious Vicar, his teammate, will now also wait for an opening, but they've got to remember Sean does have a time penalty, so it's not an overtake that needs to happen. Nimble with that front wing damage is still doing a cracking job, and at the moment would still finish P7, which is quite remarkable considering he's still driving with a missing end plate, but he's staying on the back of Vicious Vicar. Now with the leaders, Jennifer Lee, and that is Sean into the pit lane with 2.5 laps to go. Why?
I'm looking at his, he's got front wing damage, but the game not repairing it, and Sean's out of the race.
He's out.
Now, you do not retire, from experience, do not retire in the pit lane. Yes, you might have a boring race, but you never know what could happen. You could get some other people have a colossal pile up in front of you, and you could gain positions, and you still get points even if you finish. Sean would have got, I think he was 10th, and he would have got like a few points. That's better than getting no points in round 1. Just keep going, because you're going to see people who have had so many stops, like Kevin Gamer, for example, who've had quite a few bits of damage, and they're still going. But Prix is through on Jenneth, up into the leaders race again. This is going to be now biting once more, because look who's on the back of these guys. The Williams of Julius, he's on a mission, he wants to win this. Oh my goodness, that caught me off guard there, as Julius has got a warning for that.
Oh my goodness, that was the most optimistic move we've seen today. So Julius went for that late lunge. Jennifer and Julius now on the back. Julius is gone. Jennifer has made a mistake, and Julius is through. The Williams is now up to P2, and Julius is on for the race win. Jennifer is starting to feel the effects of them tyres. As Jess said, I don't know why Sean retired. he was in the points. His teammate of the Ferrari is leading, so he's going to get some decent points. It would have added to the constructors for them, and they probably would have been leading the constructors after this race. I'm not so sure anymore. Kevin Gamer and Jay Gullen going at it. Kevin Gamer runs wide, Jay Gullen goes through, but Julius is chasing down Priz as we are on the penultimate lap.
Penultimate lap of this race already, and we could see a situation where we don't know who the winner of this race is, and Julius can't afford to make any more mistakes now. He's going to try and burn the battery. No, he's not. He's going to save the battery, understandably, for the final lap. That's what I would do. Just try and stay within DRS range, and to be fair, you're in a much better position than Jenith, because Prix has got a penalty, Julius hasn't, and Jenith is on... Pretty much everyone near the front is on 2 warnings right now. So if any one of Julius or Jenith gets a warning, then that's game over. But Julius now is going to burn the battery in towards T1 to stay within touching distance of the Ferrari driver. He wants to win this on track. Let's see what he could do. Oh, we're seeing more warnings near the back, left, right and centre. But this is the penultimate time that Julius could try and go for the move on the Ferrari. He doesn't. Jenith doesn't get past either. I'll let you take on the final lap.
So Julius chasing down Priz in that Ferrari. Remember, Priz does have that time penalty. The Ferrari does lead to the Williams, to the Haas. These for the podium positions. And it was like this not so long ago, but it was in a different order. Here comes Julius, the man from Mexico will go around the outside of the German. The Williams of Julius will take the lead here in Australia on the very final lap. Julius is into P1, and make no mistakes now, and he is your round 1 race winner. Priz is dropping behind him. He's already 8 tenths behind. Jenith Lee knows he's going to pick up P2. You've got Doug in P4, Mad Riot Vicker and Nimble might pick up places off that Aston Martin, but Julius will come around turn 13 into turn 14. He's got to keep it straight. Make no mistakes from here, onto the throttle, he'll weave left and right, but the man from Mexico wins down under in round 1. Jenith Lee from Hong Kong takes P2, and Mad Right and Vicious Vic are the 2 Salbers, finish 4 and 5. My goodness, what a race.
Wow, well done Julius. He was the one that pitted when he needed to. It was around about the right time of him, because it could last 9-10 laps quite comfortably, whereas Jenith, by staying out, if he didn't stay out and if he pitted, he would have won this race quite comfortably, but because he stayed out, that's where the race was lost. And could this be the turning point before the championship has really got to a crucial point? We don't know, but Julius is your championship leader in round 1, and we've got again 3 different countries in the top 3.
Yeah, absolutely magnificent. It's a real tough race, that. A real tough race for the drivers, great for the spectators and people watching it. Too many safety cars, but we live and learn. The drivers will move on, they will report things, they will get the stewards involved, and we'll have a look at each incident and see what we can do better for next time. The drivers will try to improve. But from a position for tier 4 here in round 1, it wasn't bad going. Jess, driver of the day, you can do the honours.
Oh, I would give it to Jenith, but he was doing so well up until that last safety car where he made the wrong error. Like, he was on those hards for like 25 laps, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it to Julius, because Julius just pitted when he needed to. He was able to make moves here and there, but without that final safety car, I would have given it to Jenith. But Julius did what he needed to and made some brilliant moves. But Mad Right as well, from 14th to 4th, representing the commentators. He's doing us proud, I gotta say.
Absolutely, yeah, he did a cracking job there, Mad G, all the way from 14th to 4. But it was an exciting race. A lot for the drivers to take away from there, Jess. A lot for the drivers to learn from that going into Bahrain next week.
Bahrain is a completely different circuit compared to Australia. Of course, it's a night race. The tyres, the softs hardly lose. Well, excuse me, never mind. The softs are a nightmare around that circuit. The hards are quite decent to manage. mediums maybe not. And there are lots of DRS trains around Bahrain, but it's a lot harder to overtake compared to Australia. So it's going to be difficult for our drivers who may not be used to league racing, but this is a good start, I have to say. We know a lot of leagues start with Australia, and we may not get as much safety cars next week. We don't know. Thanks for having me, though, Nathan. Today it's been good, despite the fact that we've had loads of safety cars.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, joining us in the comments box here in F7. It's an absolute honour to commentate alongside you. I've waited a long time to sort of work together, so it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you. Hopefully, I know that you've got a busy schedule. You've got obviously PSGL, One Hub, and everything else you do outside of that, especially with Red Bull and things like that. But I'm hoping that, you know, if you ever get time, you ever get chance in your calendar, that we'll be able to see you back in the comments box at some point.
Hopefully, if my schedule doesn't get busy, then yes, maybe. But we'll see. But you've got some good commentary lineups already this season, so I'm sure they're going to be absolutely amazing in the commentary box in my absence. But of course, you're commentating on Tier 1 tonight at 7 o'clock. That's the final tier this evening. What can we expect from Tier 1, sir?
Oh God, Tier 1 is just something else. The drivers are incredible. It's so tough because the drivers are filled with determination. They've not got that aspect in their bone. Whereas if we were on track and somebody's coming up the inside, you're sort of like, oh well, just let them have it. Tier 1, they don't have that. They just don't have it. They're so competitive, overly competitive. They just cannot give up position, and that's where you'll find these drivers really coming together, struggling and fighting with each other right the way through the circuit. You'll see them going side by side through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners, and it's incredible to watch. But yeah, that is live from 7 p.m. This was Tier 4. We were Formula 7 Racing. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. We had a huge viewership throughout that whole race, so thank you, and thank you to you, Jess, for joining me.
Thank you very much, and hopefully people will see you for Tier 1 later on.
Absolutely. We'll see you for Tier 1, guys. Take care, and we'll see you in a couple of hours.